Thank you, Karen. You can hear me okay?
Yep, everything sounds great.
Wonderful. Welcome, everyone. So today we are going to talk about Affinity University, and Karen did a great job there of our little sales pitch and why we think Affinity University is the greatest thing ever. But I want to spend the next half an hour or so, probably a little less, sort of talking about the why behind Affinity University and the need that we feel it meets for a lot of our clients, law firms, legal professionals, corporate legal departments, general counsel for universities, and so on. So the first thing we'll talk about is why AU. One of the big reasons that we encourage firms to invest in a training resource like Affinity University, and in fact, any training resource really, we are so passionate about training that even if Affinity University doesn't end up being what you do, we hope that you provide your team with a training resource. But the first part of why AU is because it is on demand. And when we say on demand, we mean if you have an internet connection from any device, whether it's your mobile phone or an iPad or your desktop or your laptop, you can watch the training videos that live in Affinity University. And so this is a nice opportunity for me to give you just kind of a quick history on how Affinity University came to be. 7 or 8 years ago, we responded to the need that clients gave us for, more training on the legal software that they use every day, including products like Microsoft Word and Outlook and Excel, but training that was specific to the way legal professionals needed it. But a lot of firms did not have the budget or the time for a full day live trainer to come to their office and take all of their people out of their, billable work and sit in a room and learn for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. So we started Affinity University, and at the time, Affinity University had courses scheduled at a date and time specific that you had to sign up for, and they were $99 per course. The courses were 1 hour. And, you still had to sort of show up at a particular time, and it had to work with your schedule. And we started to get feedback that the courses were really great, but, what if I'm just not available at 2 o'clock on Tuesday, but I would really love to watch the video about quick steps and rules in Outlook. And so we decided it was time to move away from the date and time certain for videos, for training, and provide legal professionals with a way to watch the training when it was convenient for them. Just like many state bar associations have now started giving credit for online CLE, which, just to point out, Affinity University is not CLE, that was done in an effort to make it easier for legal professionals to spend the time they needed on training. So we moved to an on-demand situation where you could buy the 1 hour course for $99 and watch it on demand. And in fact, you downloaded the video to someplace on your network, and you could watch it over and over and over again. And that was a little better, and our clients responded to that a little better. But then what we realized is that, that meant that firms had to have a policy for where videos got saved, and some people were downloading them to their laptop and then they weren't accessible to the rest of the firm, and it wasn't giving firms sort of an easy way to share the content that they had paid for. So fast forward a couple of years after taking the feedback and figuring out what we could do, and we've decided that we needed to make Affinity University even easier for our clients to access. We needed to make it even more affordable, because even though we thought $99 for a 1 hour course taught by some of the greatest trainers at Affinity was a great value, we wanted to make Affinity University the type of subscription and the type of resource that firms after a while thought, how did I ever live without this? And part of doing that made overcoming budget and pricing as a hurdle for a lot of firms, because training is expensive. It's expensive because you have to pay for the training, but it's also expensive because of the billable time that you really, it's a lost opportunity when you're sitting watching training. So we felt like we needed the price to be something that was palatable for firms of all sizes, whether you're 1 or 1,000, and the on-demand nature of it needed to be adjusted. And then we started thinking about 1 hour courses, and we thought, geez, if I'm a Microsoft Word user and I need to know how to do something with table of contents. Do I want to sit through a 1-hour Word video that covers everything from page numbering to formatting to table of contents? Or do I want to go to Affinity University and type in table of contents and find maybe a 10 or 12-minute video that was very specific to the exact feature I was looking to learn? And so that's the history of AU. We started out with longer courses covering more topics, priced per course. Then we moved to making it more on demand. Then we decided that the price had to be something that was not a hurdle for firms of any size to join us. And then we decided that the training needed to be more specific so that users had access to quick information about how to do something in a program they are using every day to do their jobs. So that's the on-demand part. The unlimited part means that you have this subscription to Affinity University and you can watch a video over and over and over again. If you are teaching yourself how to do page numbering in Word, or how to reconcile your trust account in PC Law or Tabs 3, or how to use the typewriter tool in Adobe, you can play the video, pause the video, try to do whatever it is you're learning, start the video again, pause the video, come back to the video tomorrow. Everyone in your firm can watch it, and that is because there is one price. A subscription to Affinity University is $360 for the year, and you get one login that your firm shares, and you have access to every single training video and every single educational webinar that Affinity puts on for one price. Now, that means you share a login. And for some firms, that's fine. The cost is so affordable that the simplicity of the login and sharing it is a welcome thing. If you are in a larger firm, or if you want your team to have unique logins so that each person knows what they started and what they've watched, that can absolutely be handled. You'll just need to email me directly, and there's a slide that tells you how to do that here in a minute. But think of it like, you know, any other subscription in your life, like a Netflix subscription or whatever else. It is designed to give legal professionals the critical training that they need with easy access and pricing not being a barrier to entry. So after that, the best thing that we can do is show it to you. Show you how to check it out, even without a login, even without subscribing. You can look at Affinity University and you can see what there is to offer. You can search for the courses that you might be interested in and also see other things. And the courses include training courses like specific to a legal product like PC Law, Tabs 3, Practice Master, Orion, Time Matters, Amicus Attorney, Action Step, Clio, Microsoft Word, Excel, Outlook, PowerPoint, all of those. But it also includes all of our webinars. And so if any of you are attending today and were a subscriber in previous years to Affinity University, the webinars used to be an add-on. It was an additional $60 a year to get access to our webinars. And you know, we do monthly webinars at Affinity that are free to attend. But again, they're at a date and time certain. And oftentimes the content is something that our clients absolutely want to hear, but the date and time just isn't convenient for them. So we've also now included all of the webinars in affinityuniversity.com. So new content is therefore being added almost every single week between additional training courses and webinars being added. So let's jump over to Affinity University. The URL is just affinityuniversity.com. And when you get to this screen, even without being logged in, you will see that the main screen basically just allows you to hit the subscribe now button. Maybe there's no question and you don't even need to shop around and you're ready to subscribe. If so, you can hit subscribe now. But there's a couple of ways that you can navigate the site even without having a login. And that is, first of all, by clicking on this courses dropdown. We've got the courses organized by topic area. So if you are looking for practice management, which includes programs like Action Step, Amicus, Clio, Orion, Practice Master, and Time Matters, you can go here and you can go to that subcategory. So if you're an Action Step user and you need to see the courses that we have for Action Step, you can click here and you'll see we have billing, time entry, time billing, and accounting. Notice there's two time entry here because they have an enhanced billing module, and so that's why there's a couple of what appear to be redundant courses, but they actually aren't. But you can see here all of the courses that are related to Action Step: Matters, Custom List Views, Contacts, etc. These courses all vary in length because we decided to get rid of the 1 hour requirement, and we just video, the training course lasts for as long as it takes to teach that particular feature. Okay, so that's one way to navigate the courses. And if you're interested in, what Affinity educational webinars are included, you can select the drop down here and filter just the Affinity educational webinars. And Karen does a phenomenal job of getting these added. As soon as they are recorded, they get added here. So you will have access to our webinar content pretty quickly. You'll see the little Pac-Man guy chomping away there when there's a lot of courses to load, but be patient because they will all load. So for example, this was our Growth Hacks for 2018 webinar that happened just last week, and you'll see that the topics for the webinars vary, and most of them apply to firms of all sizes and are really worth your 30 to 60 minutes to watch. Let's say you go here and you don't know what you're looking for exactly, or maybe where it would fall, what category it would fall into. So let's just say you're looking for a way to do page numbering, or you're looking for something about OCR, optimal character recognition. If I type in the search field up in the top right-hand corner, let's just say I type in OCR and I hit the return button to run the search. I will find a webinar about the benefits of OCR. I'll see how to do OCR in Adobe. I will see that my Foxit Phantom PDF Basics course covers OCR. So you will find that your search will recover, or return, I should say, not only courses that have that particular search term in the title, but also in the description. So you'll notice here in the description, we say that this course covers OCRing. OCRing. Is that really a word? In any event, just to show you the power of the search. So you can look for courses based on the category that they might be in. You can search for courses by using your search terms here in your search field. Just to take a look quickly at some of the other categories, practice management, again, covers things like Amicus, Action Step, Clio, Orion, Practice Matter, and Time Matters. One of the things that you'll see on one of the last slides, which kind of talks about the future of AU, is that it really is our intent to continue adding courses for the products that we know are in use in legal departments and law firms, even if people at Affinity aren't necessarily certified in them. So for example, if we look at time billing and accounting, we don't really have certified consultants at Affinity that do time slips, but we have a phenomenal relationship with a colleague in the industry who does, and so she has provided us with time slips training videos. So we're really trying to make Affinity University not just about the products that Affinity consultants actually support, but to also make sure that we partner with the right people outside of Affinity to provide clients and non-clients alike the content, the training that they need to give their team the tools that they need to do their jobs. Let's just go backwards here for document management. Right now we've got training videos for NetDocuments and WorldDocs. So if I click on the NetDocuments option, you will see after my Pac-Man takes a chomp at it, you'll see all of the different NetDocuments. ND Office for Word, working with folders and workspaces, share spaces, etc. So you can shop around and see what courses exist before you even decide to subscribe to Affinity University. Now, let's say you decide to subscribe. Let's talk for just a minute about how you go about doing that. Let me just bring this back up here. Sorry. Sorry about that. Subscribing is easy. You saw on the very first page the button that says subscribe now. There's going to be a subscribe now on just about every page that you see, and we're going to go through the subscription process here in a second. But I also want to point out that payment is done when you subscribe by using a credit card, and that is actually the only way that you can pay for Affinity University. And that is so that we can do renewals, and also so that you can control your account. We have a coupon code right now going on for our Client Appreciation Month, which is CAM for Client Appreciation Month 2018, which actually gives you 50% off the cost of Affinity University through the end of February. So if you thought $360 was a great deal, use the Client Appreciation Month code and get that subscription for your entire firm for just $180. Renewal is automatic. Of course, you can cancel your subscription at any time. And then I'm just going to jump over to the screen and show you how to update your profile once you are a subscriber. So let's go ahead and look at Affinity University, and let's say that I want to subscribe. I'm going to click on subscribe, and you do have to click subscribe a couple of times. So I'll click on the subscribe now button, and what what'll happen is it'll just kind of pop up and say, okay, here's what you get. And this is a very long scrolling list because it's got, everything in Affinity University, which is over 100 courses and webinars, and how many you want to put in your cart. You only ever need to put one in your cart. And in fact, if I could take the quantity button away from this portal, I would. You only need to subscribe one time. So if you click the subscribe now button, it will put it in your cart, and you'll notice up here in the top left-hand corner, you now have one item in your cart for $360. If you want to use the client appreciation code when you are looking at your cart, you'll simply type it in. I'm sure we're all familiar with this from lots of online shopping. I'll click the apply coupon button. It will update my total to show the $180 deduction, and it will also show me when I'm going to be renewing. And so the credit card information is not stored in Affinity University. It is stored and encrypted through a credit card processor called Stripe. And that way, when it comes time to renew, you will get a renewal invoice that says this is about to renew, and your credit card will be processed just like every other subscription that you have, Netflix and other subscriptions like that. But again, you can cancel your subscription at any time. Then you would say proceed to checkout, where of course you would enter your credit card information, and you will also at that point set up your account username and your account password. I want to focus on this section for just a minute for those of you who are attending today who are maybe not yet subscribers. Because you share a login, it's important that you use an email address that is connected to a person so that invoices and information about your account can be emailed to you. It is not for marketing. It is not to solicit you to buy anything else from Affinity. It's required to communicate with you about your Affinity University subscription. But for those of you who are going to sign up for Affinity University and then share it with your firm, it is my recommendation that you make the username something less personal. So my email address might be jramus@affinityconsulting.com, but I don't want the username to be jenniferramus@affinityconsulting.com. I might want the username to be Affinity Training or Law Firm Training or, KRLD training account, or the initials for the website, or maybe it's your law firm domain, something that is very general, that's universal, and that will not make anyone feel like they're using someone else's credentials when they log in. Again, this email address is going to be important for receiving information about your renewal or anything else that might be going on with your subscription, but the username and the password really just represent the credentials that your people will log in with, and multiple people can be logged in with those credentials. So if you have 5 people on your team and one of them needs to watch a PC Law video and the other one needs to watch how to do pivot tables in Excel, they can both be logged in using the same credentials from their respective workstations. Now, I'm not actually going to subscribe because, as you can imagine, I already have a subscription, so I'm just going to go ahead and log in, and we're just going to run through the experience that you get when you actually have a login so you can see what that looks like. So this is your login screen. Of course, if you want to be remembered, you can be. If you've lost your password, just like any other program that you use, there is a password recovery feature. So we'll just click login. And when you log in, Affinity University will recognize you and give you a friendly hello. Welcome, Jennifer. I actually have an item in my in my cart still because it kind of inherited what I was doing before. So you can just ignore that for now. And actually, let me just view my cart and delete it out of there. Okay, so now that I'm logged in, what we talked about at the very beginning actually hasn't changed. I can still search for courses here. I can still search for courses here. The difference is, let's say I want to find how to do some page numbering. So I search for page numbering and Microsoft Word page numbering comes in. It tells me it's a 33-minute video. And now that I am logged in, it doesn't say included, it says start course. When I click on start course, it's just going to bring me to the next screen where Word page numbering is sort of embedded in my view. And then down at the bottom, I'll just hit start course one more time. It will bring the video up for me. And you might notice that the root video is actually stored in Vimeo. So this Affinity University platform gives us a way to deliver it to you, and these actually live on the Vimeo site. So then I'll hit the play button. And you'll see that the video plays. You can turn the video into full screen if you want and watch the video. So that just gives you an idea of how the videos are handled. The intro is only about 10 seconds for each video. We know when you click on play, you are ready to get started and you don't want a bunch of advertising and other, buy some more stuff from us from Affinity type of marketing in front of you. We get straight down to business and we get started with the training. Now, I started that course and then I paused it. If I go back to the home screen here with the little house and it says go to home, you'll also notice in my Welcome Jennifer, I have a little drop down here that says My Dashboard. If I click on My Dashboard, this will show me courses that I have that I have started, and I can also then hit the Continue Course button. And hopefully my little Pac-Man guy will not disappoint me as we go through this. Not sure why it's taking quite so long. Only on a demo do things, slow down and look like they're taking a long time. If I were to go back, let's do it this way. If I were to go and do the page numbering search again, when the result presented itself to me, it will say continue course. It knows that my login had already started the course, and so it now says continue course. If I click on it, I will go through the same screens that I saw before, and I can start the page numbering video. So that is how you can search for videos when you're a subscriber, the same way as if you're not. That is how you can start a course, continue a course. And then we'll just go back to the home screen really quickly, because one of the last things that I want to talk about is your ability to update your profile. Well, one of the last things on this topic is updating your profile. So let's say that you need to change the password or something like that. You can go into your profile by clicking on your name and selecting My Profile. And here you cannot change the username. Once you set up a username, it is there for good, and you actually can't even ask me to change your username. It does not allow me to change usernames. If you find yourself in a situation where you just absolutely need to change the username, you can just email me separately and we'll just set up a new account for you and inherit the old renewal dates, and we'll make it happen for you. But from a user's ability to modify the username, that cannot be done. Of course, you can update the first and last name. Maybe the person whose email address you used no longer works for the firm, and you sort of need to change the individual who is your main contact, but the username might still be fine. You'll notice here that the first and last name and the email fields are all able to be modified, so we can absolutely do that. If you scroll down, you'll also notice that you can modify your password here. Again, it's going to ask to repeat the password so that they know you got it right with a password match, but you have the ability to update your password. And of course, on that main screen, if you've simply forgotten your password, you would use the forgot password link for password recovery. Okay. Now, there are lots of other things that one day we hope to be able to present to firms as options, things like tests that you can take after the course, showing firm activity, achievements. Let's say you want to have a training plan for your paralegals that have to go through all of the 15 different Microsoft Word classes, and if they do, they get an achievement. Those are things that we have simply just not taken advantage yet in the Affinity University platform. We are still learning about how useful those would be to clients and how much need there is for that, but it really speaks to the future of AU and the things that we hope to be able to do. Let me just jump back to the PowerPoint here. Excuse me, I'm sorry about my coughing. And talk about a couple of things that we have heard from current users from a support perspective. And we have over 1,000 logins. And since January, I have had 3 people reach out to me and say, a video won't play. And 2 of the times it was because of a firewall blocking the Vimeo embed code. And 1 time it was really just a matter of extremely poor internet connection. This is not to say that Affinity University will never be down. It is our goal and hope that it never will be, but we generally find that any issues with videos are environmental. We have never had a time yet where every single person that's a subscriber is having the same issue. It's typically only happening to one person. or potentially everyone at the firm because of a firewall or some other internet security setting. So if you decide to sign up for Affinity University and you have any issues at all, you can reach out to our client services team using the help@affinityconsulting.com email address, and they can troubleshoot all of those types of issues for you, whether it's firewall, your internet connection, or even an internet security setting or privacy setting. And we can work with your IT company to be sure that those videos become accessible as well. So let's wrap up with just the future plans for Affinity University. We are working with a vendor who has told us that there are development plans for what is referred to as an administrator role. And I think this will really be a game changer for a lot of our firms, because what I'd like to be able to do is say that a firm administrator or a managing partner can create a login to Affinity University for $360 for the year, and then create individual logins for their users so that we can start to take advantage of things like the achievements and the certifications and so on. Because I think that that really provides law firms with a way to establish a training plan for their firm and stick with it. Speaking of that, if you need a few more logins because it's just, for whatever reason, sharing a login is just really a burden, an insurmountable burden to your firm, just send me an email. We are happy to give people 1 or maybe 2 additional logins at no charge. If you need a significant number of logins for a flat fee of $250, you can send us a spreadsheet with those on there, and we can actually pay our vendor to import those, set a password, and give everyone individual logins. So if that's something that you're interested in the meantime, before they create the administrator role, please feel free to email me and we'll be happy to take care of that for you. Also in the future plan, just making sure that we're always adding content. We're going to be adding more time slips, more QuickBooks. Oh, look at that. QuickBooks is misspelled on my slide. More PDF program training. The world used to think Adobe was the only game in town, and we were realizing now that there are a lot of PDF manipulation programs out there that people can use, particularly as the e-filing requirements become more stringent in most states. We want to make sure that people know that they have options for PDF, and we're going to be adding as much Mac content as we can. And of course, we'll continue to update training for versions of software as it becomes available. And so that's really what we have for today, and I want to thank you guys for attending. Remember to use the Client Appreciation Month code so that you get Affinity University for half price for your whole firm, and take a look at some of our upcoming webinars. And thanks again for your time.
Jen, we did have one question that came in. I think the first question we have answered, and that had to do with what was on the side, the quizzes, assignments, certificates, that kinds of things. But the second question, Word courses at present appear to be all Word for Mac. What if you're unsure about what you're looking for, but Word training not on a Mac? I don't know if the search didn't go well, but do you want to maybe talk to that for a minute? Jen, I think you're on mute.
So when you search, for example, if I were to just search the word Word, you'll notice that there's Word Proofing, not Word for Macs. There's Word for Mac. So it'll actually say Word for Mac in the title if you decide to search that way. The other thing you'll notice is, there's top 10 Word tips, Ask the Expert, Word Basics. None of these are Mac because they don't say Word for Mac in the title. So they are actually non-Word courses in there. If you go up to the courses and you decide you only want to see courses for Mac, you can go to the Mac drop-down here, and those courses should show up. And if the Word courses, so you can also do it that way. So the Word courses that are specific to Mac will also show up under the Mac drop-down.
That's perfect. Thank you very much, Jen. Appreciate that.
Yep.
And just want to, would you mind popping back over to the PowerPoint slide? We do hope that everybody will take advantage of that amazing discount for 50% off while it happens to be Client Appreciation Month through the end of February. Thank you, Jen. And thank you for taking the time to make everybody comfortable with Affinity University. And thanks to everyone else for attending. If you've enjoyed Jennifer's presentation today, I hope you'll join us for more Affinity webinars. We have some great series underway with Friends of Affinity product introductions, and the 18 growth hacks for 2018 also underway. We have one last Client Appreciation Month webinar next week too, called When to Leave It, Upgrade It, or Implement It. top 5 things to consider when you feel like you need to change. That's on the 27th. But you can see all of the upcoming webinars on affinityconsulting.com/webinars. Watch for my follow-up email shortly that will include a link to the recording and today's slide deck. It will also include that special discount code again for 50% off on Affinity University subscriptions to celebrate Client Appreciation Month. And please do share your feedback with us on the survey that follows, and I hope you'll join us again soon. Thanks, everyone.